Welcome to INFS 1010 Computer Applications Week 3. I'm Julia Bell. I'm going to talk about the schedule. Here are the due dates. On Tuesday, which is today, Word 1A, 1B, and 1G are due. The first two, 1A and B, the instructor will grade. The last one, G, will be auto-graded for you. Tuesday of next week, just a heads up, Chapter 2, Word 2A, Word 2B, and 2G are due. 2A and B, you use starting files, you upload those, and then the instructor will manually grade those. 2G gives less instructions. It just tells you what things it wants accomplished. You do those, you submit it for grading, it auto grades, then you can resubmit those as well. The manual ones like the A and the B, if you turn those in early enough, your instructor can view those, grade them, and get those back to you where you can resubmit and fix anything. But there again, if you turn them in the night of, that doesn't give me that luxury of reviewing them and getting back with you before the due date. So keep that in mind. Extra lab hours. I wanted to make you guys aware, whether you're taking this class in person or you're taking it online, that we've got something special going on for you. These are extra lab hours in the technology building on the Walter State Morristown campus that are available for your use. And on the second floor of the technology building in room 270, we have quite a few hours on Tuesday that you can come in and work. 7:45 in the morning all the way till 12:10, and then from 3 in the afternoon to 4:30. So if you're on campus, or if you're not on campus but you need a large block, Tuesday morning is a great time. On Thursday morning in that same room, same times, and on Friday morning from 8 until 1:30. Uh, Room 270 does have Office 2016 installed, does have a good internet connection, and it does have printers in the room. The next one is room 264. Here are the open lab hours for that room. It's again in a technology building on the Morristown campus, back of the campus, two-story white building, second floor, room 264. Tuesday, we have 12:30 to 4, so a large block of hours there. Wednesday, we have 12 to 2:30, and then on Thursdays in 264, we have 12:30 to 3:30. Again, those are arranged for your convenience and to help you out. The library also has hours at a computer lab there. You might check the library's website at the Walter State campus. But these are just there for your convenience and extra help. Here's the schedule for the Word modules. Wanted to give you those at a glance so you could look at that. Of course, the Word module 1, we've been working on that since last week. It is due today. Chapter 2 is due the 13th. That's a week from today on a Tuesday. The third module, Chapter 3 of Word, is due the next Tuesday, so that's exactly 2 weeks from today. The Word exam is the day after all those Word assignments are due. You will be able to take that at home, morning or night. Choice is up to you. And it will be a grader item, which you open that, you download the starting files, you create the document they ask you to, you send it back. And you do get a resubmission, which means if you send it one time and it's not good, go read the report, fix it, send it back, make a higher grade. I want to see that you do well, and I'm trying to do this to reduce your stress level. But do remember, if you miss taking it that day, you will need to wait till makeup day at the end of the semester. So if there's any way, morning or night, you can take that exam on the 21st. I think you'll be glad you spent that extra time and did those things. Here's some of the other things I want to cover in this video. I want to talk about getting started, downloading your starting files, using the ebook, submitting assignments, and can I see what I've submitted? To resubmit assignments, how you would do that, and viewing grader reports. I'm going to go out of this right now, and I'm going to go into eLearn. In eLearn, I'm going to click on this Pearson's My Lab and Mastering link. Give it a second. I'm going to go into my IT course home. One other thought while I'm on this part, if you try to log in and you cannot, do keep in mind those free 2-week accounts will now be expired. It's time to renew. You should have been getting emails like crazy from Pearson reminding you to update before the date that your access ends, because not only can you not access it, I can no longer see anything you've submitted in my IT lab, and I can no longer grade or get a grade from anything. That's why I transfer stuff a couple of times a day, every day, so I can keep it as current as I can. I'm going to go into Course Home. I'm going to be logged in as a student, so I'll see some of the same things that you do. I want to look at my assignment calendar for starters. Again, this is the same calendar that you see. I'm not a lover of their calendar, but it's better than most. The clock icons, that means you have an assignment that is due. The clock meaning tick tock, something's coming up. You won't see the exam on there yet because I have not activated that, but it will populate right here on the 21st. This shows up over here, shows that I have got this one in progress. I don't have a grade for it. Oops, I guess I as a student have fallen down on my responsibilities here. I need to get started. The ones with the white paper and a pencil means the instructor will grade those. So you've got to wait for me, your professor, to grade those. This one is auto-graded. I'm going to look at the next week. You click on these little clock icons. It will tell you, notice the assignments change. There's the third one. And then, of course, the next week we're going to go into Windows 10. All right. You can choose to click on this link and go straight to it. That works. I'm going to show you another way. So that would open the assignment if you wish to do that. But assignments don't appear there until your professor has put a due date on those. That's what the clock means. I'm going to go to Course Materials. Let's go to Word. And I put the master ebook out there too. If you need to use the ebook, if you did not buy the paper book, if you have 2 monitors at home, you'll love this. If you have one, they'll be a little getting used to. Here's my book, so I'll just open that. Brings up the little blue link, click it, and count to about 10 or 15 and the book should be ready. If you have a slow internet connection at home, you will not want to use the ebook. That's why I prefer that students in this class purchase the paper book. Ah, yes, mine is already having a problem. Get Flash. I'm already logged into my IT lab. If you find you can't get into my IT lab anymore, do remember you only had 2 weeks of the free access and you needed to purchase the My IT Lab access code and textbook before the date. But don't worry if you forgot, just go ahead and purchase that, enter the code, and you're right back to where you were. So it's not a problem. Going to Word, we're going to look at Module 1. Let's go get the ebook so I can show you that. If you did not buy the paper book, you may need to use the electronic book. Here's the eText. Click on that. If it comes up and says you don't have Adobe Flash, you may need to click on the link to install Adobe Flash, close your browser, and then come back to this point all over again. I had to do that. It's loading the book. If you have a slow internet connection at home, you may not want to use an ebook. You may want to use the paper book. That's why I recommended, and I told the people at the bookstore that I prefer you have the paper book. Because at home I've got 3 monitors and a great internet connection, but most people don't. So that's why I recommend paper. Still loading the book, and I've got a decent internet connection here at work, but it's still taking a wee bit to load that book. While it's loading, I'm going to click on the other tab at the top. I'm going to go back 1 level. Click on that. I'm going to go to the graded assignments and show you the 3 things that we need to do. Apparently, I have done something on the first one, but I have submitted nothing because it doesn't say for score pending. Pending means in the score position that It's something your professor will need to manually grade, and we're just waiting on them to do that. I'm going to go ahead and open this. I just clicked on the dark words at the top. Since I've not done this before, I'm going to read the instructions. Project 1A, it's in your book, pages 152 to 170. So in other words, you got to go all the way through 170 to finish this assignment. If you stop early, you won't have everything we need. And apparently I need these starting files. Let me get those. Would you like to open or save? Well, it's a zipped file, so I want to save it because I must extract it to use it. Here we go. Did it work? It did. I'm going to go to the yellow file folder at the bottom, locate those files in downloads. If you don't want yours to remain in downloads and you want to put those somewhere like in documents, you could just simply right-click on it and choose to cut it. And I'm going to put mine in documents. Maybe here's my class. And I will just right-click and put it right there. W means Word, O1 means Module 1. It's not ready to use, so I'm going to have to open it by extracting it. Right-click, extract all. And I'm going to remove that check mark, tell it to go. Great. If you wish, you can remove the zipped one now. I'm going to click on it and just push the delete key on my keyboard. Now I'm not confused. I have only one. Okay, here are the files in it. The OS one is Mac, so just avoid that. Here are all the files, and yes, there are way more than you need, but everything for 1 and 2 and so much more is included. I'm going to close this because I'm a happy camper. Since I have my instructions 152 to 170, I know that I've got the data files and I'm going to have to submit a document. So I'm just going to say close out of there because I'm not ready to submit the instructor the materials. I've got here's the e-text open right here. I'm going to go to 1A and begin. Most important thing you need to know about the first page of each section is it gives you a picture. Here is a picture of what the document should look like when you're finished. If yours looks very different, you need to say, okay, what step did I maybe not understand what they were saying, and go back and look at that. For instance, if you had shaded this whole area up here orange or blue or something else, you'd know that something's wrong. If you have a picture of a cat here instead of a bird, you know you did something wrong. If you don't have your first and last name 1A flyer down here, you know you missed putting in the footer. And if you have a different line around the outside, you picked the wrong page border. Easy enough to fix. If you're using the electronic book, you can click here to get a video walkthrough of the first few pages of this lesson. Everything through Objective 1. You could also go back to course materials and look at those under the learning materials. So you don't have to use the ebook to look at those videos. They're available another way. So next page. Here's where the instructions start on page 153. If you have a touch screen, here's some hints. My work machine is old and it is not touchscreen. My home machine, oh yeah, it's touchscreen. All right, I'm ready to go. Starting a new document. So I would choose Start Word, blank document. I can handle this. I already had Word started, but we'll show it to you. I'm going to go over to the Windows Start button. I'm running Windows 10. If you don't remember where it's at, just type WORD, and it will find it for you. If you type that and you don't have Word installed, it will come back and not find Word. And a blank document is what I need. Great. You can resize your document, and you can resize this window. It's acting up here on me. To where you can have them both on the screen if that's what you'd like to do. If this bugs you, if you just click right here, it makes sure the page is as big as it can be without having the navigation on the side, but not to worry. You click back over to the left and that little index comes right back up. or again, double chevron, click on it, and it goes away again. Here it says in the paragraph, turn on the show hide. So over here I would go, here's my show hide. And I type in internships available, enter 2 times, and I go through some of these things. Okay, I'll just type that in. I'm not going to do the whole lesson for you, but I just wanted to kind of get it started. It goes on several more pages, and I think it has you name this one. Again, you can see the lag in the ebook. That's why, again, I prefer paper. Just is not ready. Insert text from file. I think you had to type another group of text here, which I did not do. The teacher will mark me down for that, but that's all right. I'm going to just do this next one so I can show you. All right, insert, and I want to do text. Since my menus at the top are all squeezed together, you probably can't see what I'm doing. There. All right, object, down arrow, and text from a file. Remember where I put that? That's right, documents. And the name of my course. And I think that it's going to want 1A text. Again, there was 2 lines of text that went up here that I did not type. So remember, you need to type that. But you now saw how I inserted this. Again, object, insert from text. Navigate to where you downloaded those files, select this file, and insert. And voila, it puts that in. Sometimes you may work on a project with another person or another team. They'll send you components, and you need to be able to import those and put them directly into your document. Let's say I've continued on, and I keep going. Make this. Again, you can resize this stuff on the fly. It gets easier. Again, at home I have 3 monitors, so this is way easier. They want me to name the file now. I can do this. A file, I'm going to do a save as. I'm going to put it in documents. Remember where my files were? Oops, wrong place. There's documents. I'm going to put it in with those. Or again, you can put it wherever you want as long as you can find it. This is going to be Bell, my first name. Don't worry about putting those underscores. I don't like those anyway. Just something extra to type. Spaces work far better. I now have the correct file name. Let's say all is well and I'm ready to send this. P.S. You send this now and you won't get a good grade, but I'm going to show you. I'm going to click here to go back into the assignment on the words. Opens it up. Again, the reminder, pages 152 to 170. I'm going to browse. I'm going to find that file under, yes, documents, class, and there it is. You're not done. This file has to move to this window. So if you push add, you're not finished. Then click finish, submit for grading. Yes, I want to finish. Submitted for instructor grading. Yes, when you get the yellow highlight, that's a good thing. Your score is pending review by your instructor, and I've got news for you. It's not going to be too great for me because I didn't do all the work. I submitted it way too early, and I can tell I've submitted it once and it hasn't been graded. Now, I want to see any comments that were made or if the instructors graded it. I'm going to look at view submissions. It's pending. That means it hasn't been graded. What did I send? I can click here. Let's open that file. I'm going to enable the editing. Oh, whoops. Do you see what I see? It should have the great big nice orange letters at the top. It should have the little bird there. It should have so many things that I don't have. So when the teacher says, you didn't finish this, I see that it should be correct. If at this point, instead of pending, you just had a grade and it wasn't what you wanted, in this area, would appear. The rationale, instructions that I personally type to tell you what needs to be fixed. And then you just download it again and fix those things. I want to look at the grader project because it's a little different. 1A, 1B, and the grader all require you to have Microsoft Office at least 2013 or 2016. This one is a slight bit different. I do caution students, please do not cheat. Please do not take others' work and claim it as your own. May catch up to you immediately, may take a while, and don't get it from other schools either because it does catch up. I'm going to show you. We'll download the starting materials here. And it looks like there's 4 things. So rather than going 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm just going to get everything at one time with the blue button. What would you like to do? Well, I wish to save it again because it's a zip file. Don't try and open a zip file. Disastrous consequences. You work on it, think all is good. You go to find it later and, well, it doesn't exist. Okay. Let me tell you what these 4 panes are. This one is where you get your starting files and your instructions. Now you are to work on the assignment. You can preview the steps here, but I'm going to show you that you just got through downloading those. Now you would upload it and then submit it for grading. I'm going to close this because it's going to take me some time to complete this. And if I leave it open for a couple of hours and come back, I guarantee you what's going to happen. It's not going to submit it. It's going to throw up a crazy error. You're going to be puzzled. If you're going to sit here with this open for 20, 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, close it. You'll avoid those nasty errors. I'm going to go to my downloads and get that folder. Here's downloads. There it is. I'm going to cut it, and remember we're working in documents. I'm just going to place it there so that I don't get overwhelmed. Another good piece of advice, it'd be wise to go ahead and make yourself a folder called Word, because after we do Word and Excel and PowerPoint, things get a little crazy. So I'm going to put those in there, and this, and this. This is the one we're working on with the grader. If you'll just right click and extract, and extract. Great. You don't have to keep the zipped one if you don't wanna. Now this is the one we're looking at. Double click. It's got 4 files, just like the example online did. Okay. Do you see anything that looks like instructions? You can also move this over to read if you can't see. There they are, the big long title. I'm going to enable editing. Okay, these are the instructions. Now, I recommend that if you're doing a set of instructions like this with 20 steps and you're like myself and you may do one and not another, or you may be prone to forgetting where you started or you left off at, I highly recommend that you shade it when you're finished. First thing says Start Word. I've got that done. Open and download the file, Grader 1G. I have that file. There it is. Okay. Here's the word of caution. Double click on that. I'm going to enable editing. Do not change the file name. Well, there's nothing in it. Does it matter? Yes. These files are encoded for you personally. This one is encoded for me personally as a student. So when I submit that, and then I give you my starting file, because you just forgot yours, or I give you my finished file, either one will flag you as plagiarized. Plagiarized means submitting someone else's work and claiming it as your own. Big no-no. What I do for those and what our department does is a 0 for both people, no questions asked. If you're getting it for someone who had this course previously, I can't go back and give a 0, but if I find a lot of things going on, I can go and see what we can get done about that. But yours would be a 0, so please don't do that. If you get the files from a person in another class, another section, not mine, I will know it, and I can find out what section that's in. Both myself and the other instructor get notified via flag on your name that plagiarism has taken place. So let's just not do that, because I don't like to have to deal with that. And I'm sure you don't want the ramifications of zeros. Do it 3 times and you've got to have it, and I do reserve the right to just fail you for the course. So let's just don't do it. All right, I open the file. The file name is what it's supposed to be. Now, I begin typing. I can do this. Enter once, and then you type in Sturgeon Point Productions. After I get this done, I may highlight across and choose yellow just so I can know what I've got finished. When I get all the way to the end and I know everything is right, I'll save this one more time. I'm going to close the instructions, save those. The reason instructions asked me to save is I had highlighted one of them. I'm going to go right here back into the grader, and I'll show you how to make a really poor grade. You saw I only did one little tiny thing. I'm going to choose to submit it. And it's this one. And I choose upload. Success is a good thing. You're not done. I'm going to choose submit for grading. Kudos, I have done it. Huh, I have half a point. Yay for me. How could that have been? Let me show you how to review. Down arrow, view submissions. How could I have gotten that much wrong? Because that's all I did was one little thing. It's going to bring up and tell me where I got some points. See, there's 5 points available here, and I didn't type the rest of this. Oh, I didn't also insert this extra text. Oh, I see. You can also download live comments. Let me show you those. I'm going to open. It's a different view. Which view you like is totally up to you. Enable editing. Big summary page told me where I lost big amounts of points. Oh, wow, there's no really big rush looking at this on my point, because here's my submission. What is all this yellow stuff? This is stuff that I didn't put in, or I didn't format correctly. I think in my case, I would be better served by starting again or remembering that I only did one thing. If it was one little tiny error, easy to fix. It spells it out. In my case, I didn't do enough of the work. Okay, close that. So I now have a half a point. Wow, I'm not doing so good. Okay, this has been Julia Bell, and I hope that this has helped you. If you have any questions, do email me, and also take advantage of all those great extra lab opportunities. Have a great day.